Okay, I don't do surveys. Okay, that's beyond the scope of this inspection. But the only hard fast rule, there's no hard fast rules, but this retaining wall looks like it goes beyond the property, and so it may be community tenancy in common or community system. And this retaining wall might not be anybody's responsibility but the community's. That said, another hard fast rule is that usually whoever has the high ground, that would be your neighbor behind there, the neighbor behind here, whoever has the high ground, the retaining wall is their responsibility. It's actually their retaining wall, not this home's retaining wall. And those are just hard, fast rules, and that's not even what I'm about. Here's another one. This is a better hard, fast rule. If a retaining wall is farther away from a structure than twice its height, then whatever happens to this wall should not have any effect on what happens to this structure. So this does not apply to the inspection and doesn't apply to the structure. We've got a video coming up where I said that I cannot locate the weather sensor for the lawn sprinkler system, and here it is on the fence right here. This is a weather sensor. That puts us, we're on the north side of the house. So now we're on the northwest side of the house. And we're coming along, we've got brick, and then we've got hardy plank. See these butt seams right here? I can't get in there to see them, but I can look underneath them and tell you what I don't see. There's supposed to be flashing tape. Flashing tape is supposed to be installed on those. And it wasn't. I've never seen it, to be honest. I'd fall out dead if I found out somebody had flashing tape behind their butt seams. It doesn't mean that it's right not having it. We got soffit vents. Got a little bit of separation right there. Okay, soffit vents. Double pane vinyl frame windows. This is the back faucet. Bib faucet with vacuum breaker. It's nice. This is the back patio. Did I reset this? I don't know. I've been doing the front's GFCI protected. The one on the north side by the air conditioning is GFCI protected, and this one is GFCI protected. It does not have the little notice. It doesn't have the little GFCI notice right there. This is the back door. First is okay. I mean, it still is okay. Okay, the word of the day is pintles. Some people call them hinge pins. This door was installed inside out. Alright? This door was installed inside out. See the way that the threshold is designed? The threshold is designed properly. Okay? It takes water this direction. What am I looking at? What am I seeing here? The door couldn't open the other way. Was the whole frame installed backwards? Is that why? The reason why the pintle shouldn't be exposed like this is that people can knock the pins out and force the door open that way. To be honest, to be frank, I don't think the statistical odds of that are very good. Most burglars are going to break this window, reach inside, unlock it, have his way with your home before the police ever show up. They're not going to spend that kind of time. My kitchen door is designed the same way. Not that my house is for sale, because it's not. Not that you should have to live like me, because you're not the best person to model your life after. But this way, when the door opens like this, you have all this living space. If the door opened the other way, it would be hitting the earth extension for the fireplace. So, I mean, there's good reasons, and my house is the same way. It would interfere with, some of my interior arrangement, laundry specifically. But anyway, the door was installed inside out. The hinges and pintles are on the exterior sides. But again, usually when I'm calling this to people's attention, I'm less concerned about the security, and the security is always a reasonable concern, but I'm less concerned about that and more concerned about the threshold. And again, I just want to make note that this threshold is installed, so that the water drains out towards the patio. Might even be on the drawings. Might want to check that out. This electric receptacle, this light, okay, this discussion, this sconce, wall sconce, that should be sealed to help prevent water from getting in there. I want to call this to your attention because we're going to talk about it a little bit later. That right here, that's called a rain diverter. It's not quite rain gutters, but it's a diverter, so it keeps the water from falling down in front of the door. For two reasons. One, it helps you get in and out of the door without getting, wetter than you normally would have. But then another reason is that it diverts the splashing away from the door and the wood around the door. A small diverter like this is not going to divert that much water around. It's just not. And it'd be reasonable to assume without more diverter or rain gutter that eventually you're going to develop wood rot in these corners. And that's what wood does. It gets old and rots, kind of like your home inspector. I'm getting old and rotting. Okay, what else we want to talk about, bud? Okay, well, let's talk about the roof. I thought we already talked about the roof. I promised you we were going to come back. All right, so here we go. That's the shingles. That little strip underneath it, that's the edge flashing. Remember we were talking about the edge flashing before? As in this case, it's the drip edge flashing. And then that's the fascia board. And that's the soffit board. Soffit board, and then that's the freeze board. But okay, forget about the freeze board, forget about the soffit board, the soffit vents, forget about the fascia mostly. Alright? Between the shingles and the fascia, right there where that laps, it's supposed to lap a minimum of 2 inches. A minimum of 2 inches. Are you going to ever experience a problem because of that? Probably not. But I've only been aware of it for a few years. I've had an interest in expert witness case about a roof installation. See that one? Is that 2 inches? No. All right. There? Right there? Is that 2 inches? No. Should it have been 2 inches? Yes. Are you ever going to have a claim denied because of that? Probably not. Are you going to ever suffer extra damage because of that? Probably not. It's in the instructions. So. Oh, thank you. I got tools returned. That doesn't happen very often. This door's installed inside out. See the hinges?
I like it.
But the threshold is fine. The threshold is fine. So. Oh boy, Saved by the Bell. Who wants to talk to me? I hope it's my car warranty. Good home, this is Bud. Hello. This is an apology call from your electric utility bill. I got an overcharge. Okay. Coming along here, we're going to talk about this a little bit more. So we do not have rain gutters around the house, and the water's coming down, and it's hitting all this dirt. This dirt has all been backfilled. This dirt is a recent installation. They've changed the grading and draining. They knew that this might be an FHA loan. They knew that an FHA appraiser might come in because the soil was too low in that area. Oh, well, here we go. A little better. So they came in and they filled it. So grass hasn't grown here yet. And without the grass and the water's just coming off the roof, and it's just making these trenches where it's hitting. Rain gutters are not required by code. It's not a code requirement. So when they built this home, whoever had this home built, they had an option. You want rain gutters or not? And they chose not to have that option. I feel compelled to recommend that you get rain gutter. I can't force it. It's not a deficiency. Now, the erosion is a deficiency. I can call that out. But the fact that there are no rain gutters is not a technical foul, if you will. Moving on along here, these are called weep holes. These are called weep holes. You see these little screens? I like the way they put the screens in these things. Brick is a very good building material. This is a wood house with a brick facade. Brick is fireproof. Okay, brick is zero maintenance almost, unless you have to repoint it sometimes, but not often. It's zero maintenance unless you decide to paint it. I don't recommend that you paint it. But one thing brick is not it's not waterproof. We know that the brick is porous and it's going to take water. It's going to take on water, and so we have weep holes here. And those weep holes allow, most of the time it's vapor. Most of the time you won't see it. But, you know, if you have an event, I've seen a few, and I hope you don't, water will pour out of these. And those are there for a reason. Those are there by design. Speaking of design and reason, this right here is called a control joint. Like in the street. The streets, they expect the streets, so maybe they expect these walls to be. Some people call them expansion joints. Okay, whatever, call it what you will. But those are good. They allow the wall to move, and so you don't have all these bricks going, you know, crazy. Remember I was talking about just a moment ago? I was talking about repointing. So this way, you know, hopefully, you don't have to repoint the house. These control joints, expansion joints, call them what you will, but they take the pressure, because this is a long wall. And we're in North Texas. We're on expansive clay soil. This stuff expands and contracts about 3 inches between it's completely hydrated and dehydrated. And better than that, or also along with that, the architecture is regional. This wood in the walls, it's fir pine. So that also expands and contracts about 3 inches. In different reasons. Different reasons. The water is the reason the soil expands and contracts. And the inside temperatures are the reason the wood expands and contracts. So just kind of moving on along. You'll see this in a little bit. This is where I took the water pressure. This is where I took the water pressure. Now a tree, so far, this is the only thing I've seen wrong with the foundation. I mean, the grading and drainage has an issue. You can obviously see that the water's not draining off here. It's pooling, so that'll make the roof work. But is it the foundation specific? A tree should not be placed closer than 25 feet to a slab foundation to allow for root growth and branches hitting the tree. And I understand this is a little crepe myrtle. I understand that. I understand that they're ornamental and it's smaller, but they get big. They get really big, and it takes them a while. They are ornamental, and right now it's a cute little kitten. I get that, a cute little kitten, but it's going to grow up to be a big old nasty tomcat. Another thing about this tree is I believe I remember reading, and I don't know, practicing real estate. I'm not licensed to practice real estate. But I thought I read on the graphic that this home may have a homeowners association. And the homeowners association may require a certain number of trees in certain locations in your yard. If you look down here, you'll see tree, 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 tree. If you look over, well, there's not a crepe myrtle there. It might depend on the floor plan. This tree might be required. This tree might not be required. And if it grows up and these bushes grow up, then you won't even see your house. It'll just be all these bushes and stuff. But anyway, if this was a termite report, and it's not, if this was a termite report, this wood mulch underneath the drip line, that's conducive to wood destroying insects. What is wood mulch made out of? Dead wood. Really? Yeah. Where do we put it? On the ground? Next to the house? Okay. What are termites like? Dead wood, on the ground, next to the house. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I got some next to my house. My wife likes it. If she likes it, I like it. Right in here on these two areas, around the front portico, I guess it's a porch. Doesn't have two sides. Porch, portico. We should have kick-out flashing right there and right there. And over here I was making note, you know, just a video ago. Yeah, a video ago. Look at that corner where the kick-out flashing should be. The drip edge flashing. You know, it would cause a little bit of grief. Not today. Not tomorrow. Day after tomorrow. More wood mulch next to the house. This is the metal overhead door. These wall sconces have been sealed. The one on the back hasn't. Huh. Good to know. This is called a lintel right here between the brick and the header board for the garage car entry. And anytime you have a fenestration, a brick over a fenestration, you'll have a lintel. If you have wood over a fenestration, you will not have a lintel over there. But these lintels are supposed to extend 6 inches out. Real pack back. Show people how far. That look like 6 inches to you? That look like 6 inches to you? Nope, looks like 4 inches to me. Four inches, saved a little money. These add structural stability to the brick. That's the whole job. And if they don't extend up enough on the sides, then they give in the middle. And then you have, see the crack in the brickwork right there? Not too big today. You wanna know why? 3 guesses, the first 2 don't count. I cracked me up. Okay. Moving on along, now we're on the north side of the home. This is another video, but this is the control wire for the lawn sprinkler system, and those wires are exposed. More erosion along here. We do not have rain gutters. The rain gutter just lands right on your condensing unit right there. That's the fresh air induction vent. This is a tight house. We need to bring some air in every once in a while, so you don't get a sick house because it's nice and tight. Down here in North Texas, screens are required. If we were up north, screens would be discouraged, or maybe even make local code violations. So I don't know where my client's coming from, but up here, down here, where we're at, okay, we're more worried about birds than freezes covering that over. If a freeze was to cover that over, then the furnace would not. We don't have a furnace. It's an electric heat pump, but still, that might cause the heating to malfunction if that froze. But it's not going to. It's not going to. You're going to get birds in there if you don't have that screen. That's going to happen. The water heater drain lines are too high from the ground. That's in another video. Just kind of moving along. We've been talking about, how many times. So this has all been backfilled, made ready for resale. Don't have any soil. It's just taking a beating. It's taking a beating where the rain falls off. There's another one that wasn't like 2 inches. Not the end of the world. Not right either.